Hey guys and gals, Mike Cricket 113. Hope everybody's doing well and enjoying the weekend. Hey, I see a lot of people researching FRS radios when I look in my analytics and things like that. So I wanted to talk about them again. I only have one pair, and that's this pair. It's a Cobra Micro Talk. It's an FRS radio. It pretty much FRS is Family Radio Service. It pretty much has replaced back in the my day and some of your days uh, the walkie-talkies we used to get at, say, Radio Shack or maybe at the toy stores, the Sears catalog. Do you remember the Wish book? Anybody? Okay, maybe I'm dating myself there. But anyway, back in the day, walkie-talkies were on the 27 megahertz band. They were usually on channel 14, so you could pick up CB traffic as well. And those radios, obviously 27 megahertz 11-meter band, worked pretty good. You know, they were anywhere between a quarter of a watt to up to 4 watts. And these radios here, the FRS Family Radio Service, has replaced those in the modern age back in the 90s, 1994, 6, something like that. The FRS radios came about. Motorola, I remember, was one of the first ones, the talkabouts, the FR 101 or whatever. So they put out half a watt pretty much, and since then uh, they have improved. Obviously, they still run on half a watt on certain frequencies, and up to 2 watts. So these Cobras here, I got them at Best Buy. You could still buy them. I saw them in the store the other day. They cost me $65 at the time. I'm not sure how much they are now, but you know, a lot of companies make FRS radios. They're great to have. They're great for the kids. They're great for camping. Flagger force operators use them, and the range. Never trust what you see on the package, but what they put on the package, say 35 miles, 25 miles, that is ideal conditions. That is no obstruction between radio to radio. So, yeah, you could work 25 miles if you were at a mountain peak and your buddy was on a mountain peak 25 miles away. Yes, it does work that way because there is no obstruction. But a lot of people get disappointed because they say, oh, it'll work 25 miles, but I'm only getting about a mile. Well, that's because of terrain. That's because of terrain. Now, I live in a hilly and valley area, so even if my YL is in the backyard in the garden and I drive away and go to the store 3 or 4 miles away, yes, we can talk. We can talk and hear each other on the ride and when I get there. So, but because I live in a valley, the only obstructions are hills, a little bit of hills, houses, and trees. So those are your obstructions. Also, hills, mountains, things like that. So purely line of sight, but they have replaced the old walkie-talkies we're all familiar with. They use FM frequency modulation, and they use the frequencies of 462 megahertz to 467 megahertz, and they work really good. Now, with a frequency that high, it penetrates walls in your house, you know, buildings. UHF is the full wave is only about 3 feet tall, so you can imagine that wave getting out of a window or through a building and things like that works a lot better than the walkie-talkies of yesteryear for buildings and things like that. Businesses use these radios, nursing homes and hotels and things like that, you know, and they will penetrate, you know, floors, maybe up to 15 floors, 10 floors, something like that. And they work great. So, FRS radios, Midland makes them, Cobra, Uniden, Motorola still makes the talkabouts. Great little radios. These are a little bigger. They are water resistant, and a little bit anyway. And they have high and low power. They also have weather radio on there. So your NOAA weather radio, which operates around the 162 megahertz in your area, you can hear the weather broadcasts, and this is great if you're going to be camping and whatnot. And yeah, they're really great radios to have around. I gave a set to my neighbors a couple of years ago when COVID started. I said, yeah, I'll be listening on Channel 8. and if you need me. But anyway, this is Mike Cricket 113, and this is FRS Radios. A little explanation. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and 7-3.